No, I was excited. I mean, that always excites me that, you know, we weren't pioneers. We weren't the first people to do it, but I was probably the first sort of high-profile person to do this to any degree. And the first podcast we did, I think we broke the world record, which back then was, I think, 250,000 downloads. And of course, now we've had about 150 million, and it just kept growing. And then when we started charging for it, we thought, well, can we do this commercially? And that was an experiment. Also, Carl had just left his job. So, and when we got to about, I think it was about, we'd had about 10 million downloads, I think Stephen Merchant said, can we just charge £1? The businessman in him kicked in. I went, yeah, all right. But I never thought it would take off. I thought it would be, I didn't think it would be a fad. I thought I'd lose interest very quickly. But it's the one thing I do that I think that I could do forever. You know, you stop TV shows early because you want to get out when you're on top, or you want to move on to other things, or it was always meant to be finite, like The Office, or you know, stand-up shows come and go. You do them for a while, and you commit them to DVD or television. Then you've got to write a new hour, which is fun as well. You know, you move around doing different things on radio. But the podcast, I look forward to it. I want to do one now. I want to go back and say to Carl and Steve, you know, we're doing one more job. We're getting the band back together, and it's just fun. It's the thing you do that's fun at the time, and you don't care about the result because you've had fun doing it, and you just put it up there to see, you know, which is the opposite of everything else we do. You know, we're so, myself and Stephen, we put everything into it and we craft it, and we worry about the results, and we worry about the legacy. And, you know, we've got this thing in our head going, this is forever, this is forever. We never say that'll do. Are we like maniacs? The last few days in an edit, I mean, we're going, you know, take off 2 more frames, and, you know, working up in a cold sweat and going, take that joke out. Whereas this is, we go in there, we ramble for an hour, we edit it down, put it on the internet, and it's out there forever. I wish I could be that free with other things, but it's a different discipline. A different gene kicks in when you're doing something like The Office or extras, or even stand-up to a certain degree. Stand-up's different again, because the discipline there is, you write it and you think of funny things, you think, have that been said before, that I really feel passionate about that I get a laugh, let's try it out. And I get about 40, 50 minutes written, or you know, in my head, a big bag of observations. Then you work it, and ad-libbing every night, that 40 minutes becomes 70. But the really interesting thing about it, your meter, your punchline, your ramblings and all that are chosen by the audience. You know, I played to like 200,000 people on my last tour. So after those like 100 dates or whatever, it was evolution by natural selection. Those audiences chose your best bits for you. It's almost like you didn't have to do anything. It was just like a coin sorter. It did it for you. And that's weird, because by the end you get, and I've never done that, I've never done art by democracy. They're only choosing their favourite bits, they're not giving me notes. So everything's got a slightly different ambition, discipline, raison d'etre to everything you do, and that's exciting. I remember thinking that when we were writing The Office, that I'd seen stand-ups try to crowbar in their routine into a sitcom, and they might as well have turned to camera and said, I think of weird stuff, and it didn't work. And so everything's got a different discipline.